Hi guys, I am Dani with Skye Gardens and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite vegetables to grow, okra. So if you live in the South or you visited the South, you'll know that okra is one of the biggest vegetables that we grow down here. It loves the heat, which makes it a great vegetable to grow in the summer, no matter where you are, but especially if you live in a hot area or in a humid area. If you've never tried okra, you're really missing out. Not only is it a great source of folate and calcium, way more calcium than cow's milk, but you can actually cook it a lot of different ways. My favorite way is either to grill it or fry it. I'll also have a blog post that I'll link below, and I'm going to throw in a few tips in there on how to cook with okra. As always, if you like this video, give me a big thumbs up and consider subscribing so that I can catch you here every time with me. And if you want more day-to-day inspiration, be sure to check me out on Instagram at Skye Gardens. So as I said before, okra is a summer heat-loving vegetable. You're going to want to plant it when the soil temperature is getting about 70 degrees or warmer, and when the outside temperature is getting 80 to 90 degrees. So here where I am in Texas, South Texas, in Zone 9A, you can plant this anywhere from late April through August. So these guys I came out and planted in May, but since it's July, you can still get a crop in planting between now and August. It takes about 52 days for maturity, so you still have plenty of time before the weather starts to cool down for you to enjoy it. With planting okra, you want to direct sow it outside. It doesn't do well with transplanting, so you just want to come right out and put your seeds directly in the ground. All right, sorry about that. It started raining, so I came up onto the porch, but you can see the okra behind me, so I can keep talking to you guys. Now, okra is one of the most prolific vegetables you can grow. You're gonna be coming out here every 1 to 2 days and picking pods off. So when you think about how much you wanna plant, I'll be honest with you, this amount of okra for my family of 4, way too much. I am freezing it. I am giving away to neighbors. You want to kind of shoot for anywhere between 3 to 8 plants and thinking about how you're going to plant everything. Now let's talk about the site for okra. Okra loves the sun, so you really need like a good 8 hours of sunlight. You want a spot that is really fertile, that you can really add a lot of compost to, but it needs to be well draining. Access to water is not as big of a deal. Okra does fairly well in dry conditions, but you want to make sure it's getting watered at least once a week. Now, as for planting the seeds, you're going to want to put the seeds about 1.5 to 1 inch deep, about 18 to 30 inches apart. As you can see behind me, the bottom of the plant doesn't really need a lot of room, but they get really tall and bushy at the top. I do square foot gardening, so I put 1 plant in each square, and that has worked out well for me. Now, as you can see behind me, these guys get really big, upwards of 6 to 8 feet tall, so you want a spot where they can really reach up and get their full height. Okra does make a very attractive plant in your landscaping or your garden, and it has really beautiful yellow flowers that the bees just love. That is how it is going to get pollinated and then form the pods, which are the okra that you're going to eat. Now let's talk about fertilizing. So you want to make sure when you go to plant that the soil has plenty of compost and rich organic matter in it. Once it sprouts, you're going to want to hit it with fish emulsion about once a month. So it's not a very vigorous fertilizer, but as long as you keep up with it, it will keep producing over and over and over. Now it does fairly well in dry conditions and in the heat, but you're going to want to add mulch. I tend to prefer straw, but you can really use any other regular type of mulch. This will help keep the moisture in and also help keep the soil cool. Now, as for harvesting okra, you're going to want to come out and get it when it's about 2 to 3 inches. The bigger that it gets, the more stringier and tough. So you want something more about this size versus this size. You can see how big they can get. Now, if you're going to be cutting it up and either stewing it or frying it, I have found that the bigger ones, it's not a big deal if they get a little bit too big. But if you're going to grill it and kind of eat it whole, the smaller ones are going to be tender and just taste a lot better. Now, when you're getting to the end of the season, you can just let your okra grow, let them get really big and huge, and then pick them, let them dry out on the counter, and you can easily cut it open, strip the seeds, dry them out, and save them for next year On average, okra seeds save for about 2 years, but I've known some people that have planted 5 and 6-year-old seed and it has germinated. All right, it looks like the rain is dying down a little bit, so let me take you guys over by the okra and give you a closer look. Alright guys, that's all I have. I hope this gave you some great information and maybe convinced you to try growing okra in your summer garden. I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna go get to cooking.